Hey world, what's up? It's your boy Dr. Jones. It's the pseudonym I'm adopting for this Hunter Circle series I'm working on. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you might be across the world. Recorded in late 2021, but this video is really based on moving forward into 2022. In fact, everything I'm doing is based on trying to move forward in 2022. And invariably, one of the subjects that hits you after the Christmas and the New Year shenanigans and enjoyment, one of the underlying things that affects people is really around establishing how the new year is going to look. New me, New Year's resolutions. But typically there's this undercurrent of finances and money, making more or overcoming the amount you spent or lost in the past year or so. And so I wanted to start this year off by really sharing some things I've learned in the last couple of years around this idea called wealth attraction rigidity. And I'm sharing this because most people in the new year are looking to increase their capacity. Normally it's things like love, family, health, gyms and all that kind of stuff. But of course there's the money aspect of things. And yes, there is an idea around getting a new job, boosting your career. But as a hunter, who's typically quite self-reliant and trying to live as much as possible a self-determined life, we realize that we have to be in control of our destinies, and we also believe that we can do more to increase our earning capacity. But what I've discovered is that there's a real issue with, well, I had, and many people I've come to understand and learn with, this issue I call wealth attraction rigidity. And that's the idea of trying to attract new money or new wealth, both in terms of your essence and where you're trying to go into your life. But there tends to be a certain rigidity. And by rigidity, I mean this kind of inflexibility around ways to earn money, and basically limitations that we carry in our minds around how we're going to make money in the new year. And basically what that means, it shows up in different ways, but what that means is that we become inflexible and we kind of have a one-dimensional mindset dictating how we can go from A to B, creating goals and trying to aspire and living with hope, fantastic, and hustling towards it. But then there is a tendency to become quite one-dimensional, to be quite rigid, as opposed to living in abundance and being open. And what I found talking to other people and looking at my journey alongside other people is that if you maintain a rigid perspective when it comes to your capacity to earn wealth, then opportunities will come and fly you by. And I almost fell victim to it because I'm very logical in many ways and can be quite a lot of a victim of intellect. And so let's quickly, for the sake of this video, just share 3 things that tend to happen when an individual is basically moving with a mindset of rigidity when it comes to wealth. The first is this self-sabotaging trait that tends to happen. So what happens is that you might know somebody, you might see somebody you might hear of somebody who's moving towards a direction and actually achieving success when it comes to money, and you just tell yourself it's not for me. You tell yourself it's not me, and of course we have to know ourselves in the dimension and all our own destinies, but you just tell yourself, oh, it's not for me, it's not possible, there's got to be more to it. It's just this weird detachment. Like, you can literally hear someone say, I am planting corn in my garden and doing well off it, and you can desire to create your own wealth or something you can do in your garden, but it's something in your head just self-sabotages and just dismisses it and just says, that's garbage. It's not for me, it's trivial, it's not sexy, or whatever it might be. I say that to say that there's a tendency that we self-sabotage ourselves in the process to creating more wealth. So the point of this is to be aware of opportunities around you and to be open when you witness or hear about wealth being created, money being created. And if it's not that you gain from, there could be ideas next to that you can gain from as well. Second thing is the good job trap. And I fell into this myself, where you're earning a decent income, even if you're a hunter, maybe a hairdresser, standalone barber salon, a salesperson, whatever. And the job's good, so you think to yourself, like, I'll do it later, or it's not yet time, or I can't sacrifice my income right now. I came across this quote, which is really, really important, actually. I don't know how to pronounce it. It says horror vacui, which basically means nature hates a void. And the point of this is that what must be realized when you're in a good job trap is that the finances you currently get from your job is a filled void. And actually, what happens when you remove that filled void is you create capacity for new wealth creation opportunities to come into your life. And so it's about really realizing that there is a spiritual design around vacuums and space. And sometimes, whether you like it or not, you hear it from other entrepreneurs, you have to literally cut the umbilical cord and create the space for opportunities to come in. That also affects point one, where you hear things from people and you just can't take to it because you're like, oh, my $5,000 a month, my $6,000 a month is kind of decent, and how could I possibly replace that? But there are spiritual laws in place, and we can cover that in future. Do you know what I'm saying? There are different things that happen when you create space and the capacity, apart from just the wealth, but your mindset opens up. You're more willing, you're more intentional, you're more able to take bold steps to actually take on the opportunities. So be careful with that good job trap. There's a couple of other things, but because of time I'll run through them. You're scared of being alone, you're scared of being different, trying to earn money, self-employed, or doing your own thing, or being open to new opportunities around wealth can seem really daunting. You might not find people around you that feel the same way, which is part of the reason why this channel exists, and hopefully we can create a community around it. But don't be. Once you make that step, you will find the community and you will find the individuals who will help you, and you actually can seek out people who are more open to new opportunities. You see someone doing something different, reach out to them and ask them questions. I know some people who love doing that all day long, and most people who are successful actually like to share information with those they believe are trying to make the same changes. Moving forward in 2022, I just want to implore you to focus as much on what you're trying to achieve, to focus on who you want to be as much as what you're trying to achieve. A quote from Jim Rohn I read this week, or I heard this week, says, set yourself a goal to be a millionaire, not because of how much money you'll make, but what becomes of you in making that money. In essence, who you'll need to become to make that money. And being intentional about these facts will actually help you to realize that you have to become flexible. You have to push out past the rigidity in your mind and your experience about what money is possible moving forward. And 2022, 2021 and years recently have been a phenomenally insane time for ways to make money. I'm telling you. And I'm not saying I'm smashing a lot, I'm doing my thing, but there's more to be done. And the point of it is this: if your mindset towards wealth is rigid, it's overly defined, it's overly logical, it's overly judgmental, we might not get where we want to be as hunters. And so we need to be attentive, set our eyes on the target, be ready for that terrain, go out there and smash our goals this year. Wishing you the best. Like and subscribe. See you soon. Dr. Jones.